Alright guys, everyone ready to get started? So today we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial mechanics I think you could possibly, I think literally since the beginning of early Dragon Ball days, we used to talk about this mechanic, you know, and this mechanic has been super controversial as well. We're going to be talking about, Superdash. So Superdash is kind of one of those weird mechanics where the game is kind of built around it. Because, like, just to begin, like, what is the point of Superdash? And why does this mechanic exist? Well, unlike most games, like, most fighting games have footsies. Like, you see a lot of this in other fighting games, you know, coming in, then they'll walk back to bait something, sometimes they'll dash, you know, they'll have, like, a dash. Jumping is a lot more of a commitment. Jumping is more like that speed, and you can get anti-aired very easily. You don't have access to air dashes usually. Like, this is kind of new. Not new, but, like, this is kind of unique to Dragon Ball in a way. Because you don't really have a lot of those. You don't really have super dash, like, super jumping in a lot of games as well. So, those things are kind of big, but, like, when your movement is basically like this, you don't really need that large of a screen. Like, the screen is usually as large, like, this is what full screen would be for most games. Instead, Dragon Ball has a very large screen, very tiny characters, because you have to be able to accommodate this. So, what is Super Dash, and why is this mechanic so critical? Well, Super Dash has a couple of great uses. You guys already know most of them, you know. You guys have played this game before. But, you know, the ability to extend, you know, stuff like that. You know, if you guys do a universal say and B, you know, something like this. You know, use Super Dash in that in order to kind of get around. Super Dash is a great way to navigate the screen. Now, Super Dash, as a result, has sort of evolved over time. You know, and it became very integral. We found out how to deal with it. It has head properties, so it can be 2H'd. You know, it is vulnerable to anti-airs. What's unique about this as well is... let's see. Super Dash is invincible to Ki Blasts. It does count as an air move, so it does beat throws as well. And it is frame 4, which means that it takes a while for it to start traveling and for it to become throw invul as well. But the Ki Blasts are really strong in a game with a lot of fireball projectiles. Now, you guys know this. Fine. So what do we do about this? How exactly do we kind of use this mechanic to its best, and why does this mechanic exist? Because from the sounds of it, a lot of people think that this mechanic shouldn't exist at all, and that if it was removed from the game or nerfed, that the game would be a lot better. Now, if you think that, you're not exactly in bad company. Leffen has complained about it. A lot of pro fighting game players have complained about Super Dash, because Super Dash is kind of free neutral. I mean, because if you have an assist, you can just do this. Well, maybe not like that, but you could just do that. And boom, it's your turn. I'm plus 24 now because of after landing. You know, if I'm in the corner, you know, if they're in the corner, you know, oh, maybe not like that. I get a 50-50, you know. Oops. You get something like that. Something like that. Like, you get a nice little 50-50. Very interesting mix. Very cool. But, you know, what is the importance of this game? Or we need to, in order to understand Super Dash, we really need to understand how this game is balanced around it and the actual strength of this particular mechanic. And the biggest strength that I could think of, and it's one of the arguments that I would give to having it remain in the game, is that jumping in this game is unusually strong. Like, in most other fighting games, jumping is kind of a commitment. Like, this is going to get you anti-aired most of the time. But in Dragon Ball, you know, I could just do that. You know, that's particularly strong. Like, oh, I'm going to 2H. Nope. And what's worse is if you don't 2H, you know, if you don't 2H, I could potentially, you know, end up with this. Hang on, let me see if I can do it. Oh my god, pain. I can end up with something like that. You know, I can do a mix, like, you know, with cell thing, whatever. You guys get the point. And there you go. That is essentially how the game sort of balances itself around Superdash, because Superdash is a very, very good counter to jumping. Because if they're jumping around you and whatnot, and they're not paying attention, and they don't know what side, you know, you're just kind of dicking around or whatever, I can block. Or you can kind of catch up. Great way to close distance if I'm not expecting it. If I'm trying to cross you up, or if I'm trying like, hey, maybe that was too early. I should stop aggressing. You know, it avoids assists. You essentially counteract a lot of jumping, especially opponents that do this a lot. Who here has fought this person? This person that does super jump float into nothing, and then you see them just jumping, double jumping here. This is not good neutral, by the way. Like, I don't care if you see it with pros. It's not good neutral. It's not effective movement. Super dash is a great way to deal with it. So you might be wondering, okay, but what if they, you know, what if they snipe my super dash like that? You know, that's kind of scary. It's not as easy as it sounds. It's not as easy as it sounds. See? Sometimes it does work, though, as you saw earlier. Pain. You know, sometimes your jab could beat it as well, if you're not careful. Like that. I should really... It's hard to spend my double jump. This is actually kind of hard. There we go. What if I just do this? There, yeah. JM is way easier. Her JM is broken. And on top of that, like, if you let it rock... Maybe not that close. It's kind of hard, even to confirm that. Point is, you counteract jumping a lot by being able to do that. Because if they block, you kind of enter this post-super dash sort of RPS situation. That's a bit tougher. But nonetheless, your opponent is now in a really weird situation, and you've forced an interaction, essentially. And as you saw here, you know, if your opponent's like, you know, super jumping around, they can't quite land in time to anti-air you. If they do, you do get hit though. But most of the time, the most common interaction you'll see is this. Just block. You might be wondering, okay, but how is that cool? Because if you just block and whatnot, they could do something like... and then take their turn and jail you down into an assist. It's a lot easier than anti-airing you. And then on top of that, if they're up backing and whatnot, and then they're just calling their assist like that, you could just do dash block, like hell. I'll even record it. I'll record the enemy Kefla. Like just doing this, stuff like that. We can just do this. Oh. See? You can kind of take advantage of the situation. You can inch forward and then wait for them to aggress, you know. I messed up the input. And then they're not paying attention because you're dashing forward. It's a lot harder to snipe you when you're directly under someone, because then you're like right here, for example. Like, let's say you're in that particular zone. It's hard to tell where you're even going to end up, to be honest. See? So Super Dash is a really, really, really fun answer to jumping. Most of the time. Because the air, as we've talked about before in other masterclasses, the air is a stronger positional advantage for defense. It's not exactly a stronger offensive option. Generally, the person remaining on the ground is a lot stronger offensively because they can aggress forward, they can snipe your landing, you'll eventually come down. Anything that you do can essentially, you know, get 2H'd. You have your assists on the ground as well. You're in a position to reflect. You are in the position to guard cancel if you're in the blocking something. Like, it is a very strong fundamental position to be in. So when they're in the air, Super Dash is a great way to kind of force them back down to the ground. It's a good way to catch people. Another great thing about it is it's also a great whiff punish. For example, you know, something like that. You could do that. They're whiffing under you, and then you get a confirm. And not only that, but some characters also have really, really good rewards off of their Super Dash confirms. So Super Dash is a pretty legit offensive option that really deals with a lot of the problems in the game. It's not a perfect solution. It's not GTA. You do have to be careful with how you use it. However, it does actually give you a potential avenue of attack that you could structure around in dealing with jump, which is such a strong defensive situation. Now, I want to talk about the overuse of Super Dash, which is one of the biggest issues. You will see Super Dash a lot at high level, but not quite to the extent that you might see on ranked. For example, let's talk about some issues that I do see pop up every now and again, even at the highest level, and some big no-nos to avoid. Biggest no-no, full screen Super Dash. This is very, very risky, even if you do something like this, because this is a great way. Well, actually, I don't have the correct assists to do this, so let's go ahead and give him. Let's give him Subby. You know, like, that's pretty cool, very common. Very, very easy 2H, and if you're not careful, you get 2H'd, and if you have the right character, boom, TOD. So you do want to be careful with that, because getting 2H'd is a really big risk, and Super Dash is a commitment. You cannot cancel out of a Super Dash. If I see an opponent do something like that, I could just do this. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it just in time. Yep. Very big commitment. You could raw level 3. And now you have a very, very strong positional advantage. And of course, if you look right there at Cell, just a moment ago, Cell got called, which led to a happy birthday. If your level 3 does that, that's a very nasty situation that could potentially lead to a dead character. So full screen Super Dash, generally very unsafe. Especially characters that are doing this, because if they're getting hit, like for example, if I switch to guard cancel Super Dash, let's see. I can still 2H for free. Not if I overcommit, though. But I could do that. I can even do that at fairly close range. If I read the Super Dash, or if I have an assist like Vegeta B, like Vegeta A, where I know they're going to want to disrespect. So you definitely want to be careful using Super Dash, because it is a commitment when it comes to beating options with zoning. A lot of you guys do struggle against one of my top Angels, which is dimensional. This is not an answer to his zoning. Another thing that I see that is a really, really big issue is this. 90 or 45 degree Super Dashes. This is the freest 2H in the world, because the angle is highly telegraphed. Your opponent is paying attention directly to you. This is not a good Super Dash. Another mistake is also jumping into your opponent's attacks and constantly thinking that this is going to work. And the reason why is because, like, if let's say you're hanging out in zone 1 and you want to do this could be potentially potent because it's hard to tell what side you're going to end up on. Like, I can, like, for example, that crossed up. That can be a little bit tricky. The problem is your opponent's job here is to create as much distance as possible. So instead of whiffing buttons, like a lot of you guys might, or whiffing auto combo, you guys should actually be retreating, so that way you can create distance. However, if you do whiff auto combo and whatnot, this will beat most auto combos. You know, for example, if I do something like that. See? However, if you're not careful, if you're really not careful, some auto combos are frame 4 head and ball, like this, which I believe is actually frame 1. Which means that if you get caught by this, not only is it medium scaling, but it's not a good day for you. So be careful with that. There's also Teen Gohan, obviously, although Teen Gohan's not head involved. So be careful with that. You actually can get stuff there. Now, those are the biggest problems that I see with Superdash. I also see an over-reliance on it as well. There is an over-reliance on Superdash, especially like people just doing this, calling an assist, and then Superdashing. That's not good neutral. Like, this is not good neutral, because even if I call an assist to make it safe, yeah, sure, she can't 2H me, but I'm now in a solo Superdash situation, where I would have to call another assist to take my turn, or I have to, because I see way too many people taking their turn like that. When you can't really do that. Like, even if I had a fast assist, or let's say I did this. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. Because there's no reason not to. I can mash there, of course. That is a big no-no when it comes to Super Dash. And another... We'll talk about more Super Dash habits as we get down the line. But that's not effective neutral. It's a good way to get killed. And as a result, you have to be super, 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 super careful. So, if that's so risky, why do we want to use this mechanic at all? Well, like we mentioned, it's a great way to deal with jumping. Like, there are movement patterns designed to deal with Super Dash because it's that strong. Like, what I'm doing right here is how you actually deal with Super Dash. But there are a lot of applications to it. So what are the neutral applications? We'll start with neutral. Super Dash is very effective when in zone 2. So if I'm like right here, like that's a very effective Super Dash, even though it breaks the 45-degree rule. Because here, you know, my opponent's going to be playing neutral with me. So let's say I have the bot playing neutral, you know, just chilling, calling an assist. You know, boom, 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 trying to play neutral. Trying to air, you know. Boom. That's when Super Dash becomes potent. It becomes a legitimate option. You know, obviously there are some patterns that you have to be careful when Super Dashing. You know. Stuff like that, you know. Like, for example, if I Super Dash there, that's why you see that pattern. That's a good Super Dash. Oops. So if I do bait Super Dash, but let's say I'm doing something like this, and, you know, I'm trying to take my turn. Boom. That's a good Super Dash. Look at my reward. I got 3.1k. I spent a bar for it, but now I might get mid-screen Oki. Maybe I'll get the corner, and who knows if I get a really good Super Dash confirm. You know. Let's see how much I get with this character. Not even optimized. If I spend an assist. Oops, my bad, messed up. Oh wait, I could just do this. Yep, you get the idea. This very potent, especially if you have the right height. Bane. Forgot how to do this. It's been a while since I played you, Gogeta. I don't think I have the right height, but what if I do... There we go. Boom. And I got nice Oki in the corner. As a meterless conversion, you get corner carry, and that's solo. I can extend with an assist if I want to. That sort of stuff. Very, very, very effective. So, that's essentially where we're going to be at when it comes to that. So you definitely want to be careful when using Superdash. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. I really, really appreciate it, Dre. It's my first time, and I'm learning so much on 5 minutes on this. I appreciate it. But that's really good neutral applications. It's sort of like a burst option, effectively. Like, I appreciate you saying so, by the way, Dre. So, like, right here, you know, I can chase that. I saw her whiff JM. I can attack. You know, I can get past her assists that way as well. You know, like that. If I see her whiff, you know, back to this. So on and so forth. So, once you get to that option, that's amazing. That's great. If they're block Super Dash, you're remarkably safe. Super Dash is extremely safe. You are -1 on block after landing. Otherwise, you're 0. So, a character like Gogeta could easily do something like that. You know? That, or that in the air as well, if he wants to catch him off guard. Like, there's a lot of options you could do off of post-block Super Dash, because you're effectively plus. You're no longer super unsafe. You can block. It's very hard to punish a Super Dash once you've already blocked it in the air. Now, that sounds kind of nutty, especially if you pair it with an assist, which is something that we haven't even talked about before, where if she's doing, like, you know, she's playing neutral, let's say she's dash blocking, you know, playing neutral. Oh, I did not mean a Rawtag. I have quick tag on for the first time ever since... You know, you get an assist. And then if they get hit, it's a free conversion. It's an Oki. So on and so forth. And that's kind of where the strength of it lies, in neutral. You don't really want to use it all the way over here with an assist. This is not necessarily effective. You're actually better off, especially with a character like this, like doing something like this. So that way you can convert that way, or, you know, you're harder to deal with. Most people won't get hit, you know. So something like oh, I'm jumping, and then that plus assist. If you're Kefla and whatnot, you'll see a lot of, like, dash jumps plus assist, or you'll see lariat plus assist, just in case, to keep it safe and take your turn. You could do specials like that, and it does work, and it is effective. But the problem is, you know, you're spending a resource, and this isn't really the most effective way to use it. But what you can do is you can, you know, have an assist in your back pocket, do your movement, you see your opponent moving as well. Your opponent, let's say they whiff JM, or they're about to land, you could just Super Dash, call an assist, jail them down, and boom, it's your turn. That is effectively how you want to get used to it. We'll take a couple of examples of how you'll see high-level players use Super Dash offensively in a little bit. But that's a great, great way to use Super Dash in neutral, especially when you're trying to take your turn. Now, the reason why you see this is because you only 2H what you're expecting. See, if I get her to Super Dash right here, I'm expecting this 2H. I'm going to 2H every single... I'm expecting that Super Dash. I'm going to 2H every time. Because I'm looking for it. And I know that that's the only option she has available. There's another application where you want to be super careful with Super Dash. And this is probably the most egregious one. The most insidious, I think. Because it is really, 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 really hard to tell. And you have to kind of be looking for it. But how many of you see this? Who here sees the problem? Who here sees the problem? Chat. What's the problem here? You can get 2H'd, yes. That is what's going to happen, but why? There you go. Thank you so much, Crash. Really, really appreciate it. So right here, you spent your double jump, which means the only option you have at this point is to super dash. So if I see you and you spent your double jump, I'm getting ready to 2H. You'll see this. And you'll see this a lot at high level as well. So that way they can give themselves more time to react. It is the only option you have there. Do not super dash if super dash is literally the only option you have in a given situation. And that is usually the case when you spend your double jump, so make sure you preserve your double jump and only super dash when it's a little ambiguous. Remember the number one rule, guys. Always be ambiguous. It's very, very, very important. Yeah, that is not a good habit. But be careful with super dash in that regard. But another reason why it's very good is because even though, like even something like this, it's pretty strong from this distance. And that's because in Zone 2, Super Dash becomes a lot harder to react to. This is very, 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 very difficult to react to in time. You'll be able to block, but a lot of the times you'll have your 2H stuffed. Press 1 in the chat if somebody has super dashed you, you feel like you reacted with 2H, but they hit you just before your 2H became involved. Press 1 in the chat if you got hit from point blank super dashes. Exactly. You got to be careful with these. We're going to talk about how to defend against super dash in a little bit. But this is very, very potent. Or worse, you get hit by the assist before the super dash even hits, and then the super dash confirms. Like, yeah, it does happen. It does happen. Which you have. Wow, that jab reaches really far. Look at this jab. I love Kefla. Point being, at that point, this is effectively unreactable, especially if they have other movement options as well. Now, generally, you shouldn't super dash because super dash is not a guaranteed turn. The confirm off of it is not going to be great or as good as other things because as nice as something like this is, as nice as something like that is, it's much better to just do something like that. It's much better to just go, do your thing. Boom. You get a much higher reward off of it than you would. It's less execution, on top of that. There you go. So, generally speaking, super dash confirms are not the best. Because this is going to be a lot easier. Especially in the corner. So, you might be wondering, okay, that's nice. But this is making Super Dash seem a little bit too strong. And Super Dash is wonky. Because, we've all had those Nike Swerve Super Dashes where your Super Dash overcorrects and tracks to a position that you really shouldn't. Or your Super Dash sends you to the other edge of the screen at the very top. Like, we all have had. Like, the tracking does have issues, but if you can take advantage of Super Dash offensively, this is definitely how you want to do it. You want to do it in really nice, tight, close quarters, but the only thing you have to keep track of is that in 9 times out of 10, this is better. Like just IDing in, coming in with a button, this is better, it's less of a commitment. If your opponent has 3 bars and they want to do something crazy and you get level 3, you're more likely to safe jump. So, you're not going to see Super Dash too often, but it does happen, especially in a situation where they do this. So if I'm just coming around, because here, I want to come in, let's say I want to come in, uh-oh. But if I know you're going to jump, I'm just going to do that. So keep an eye out. Super Jump is at its absolute most effective. Thank you so much for the follow, playing Gumbrion. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying the content. But basically what's going on here is Super Dash is the most effective when your opponent is in the air, when you know your opponent is about to jump, because then it's safe, and more importantly, it is the most effective in Zone 2. These are the best times to use it in neutral. And by the way, that extends to Rawtag, the best move in the game. So, boom. You know, if my opponent's in the air and they're jumping, they're like, haha, you can't catch me, you can't catch me. They're doing this and they're being annoying. Thank you. You let me get my character out. Hold this Oki, idiot. Why are you getting hit, idiot? What's going on, idiot? Hold this mix, idiot. Maybe don't whiff your level 3, though. It's not free because your opponent can jab it if they have a good jab for it. Gogeta kinda does. But, you know, if they're in the air, they're essentially being like, no, it's okay, you can Rawtag me. Of course, golden rule, pay attention to your opponent's options. Kefla here doesn't have an air level 3, but Vegeta does. So, if he's here and whatnot, and you're like, I'm gonna Rawtag, he could just do this. Like, and then that happens. So obviously be attentive and pay attention. But there you go. Now you kind of get an idea of, you know, your opponent's jumping around. Maybe they're like, haha, I'm Vegeta. What are you gonna do? I'm just super jump floating, haha. And then you're like, alright. Thank you for letting me Rawtag. And now I'm gonna put you in the corner. And now we have Oki. So, Rawtag, very, very effective. You see an opponent super jumping too much? A great thing that you can do is pay attention to your health and be like, you know what? I kind of want this character out. I kind of want to bring my full health 18 in. I think I'm just going to Rawtag. Obviously, you don't want to do it from all the way over here. Dash block, Rawtag. Very, very good. And you can use your movement to complement Rawtag to the point where it even becomes a mix-up. Because you could easily just do... Hey. Hey. Oops. Oops. Hey. And that becomes very difficult to deal with because they think you're going to go cross-up, they're going to try to chase you, and they're not paying attention to the Rawtag that's coming. So you got to be very, very, very careful with that. It's very, very effective. And of course, Rawtag is best right here as well. Especially if you are in, not exactly in pressure, but, you know, it is harder to 2H you from right here, because you're going to be super dashing from full screen. So, you know, it's a lot harder for them to react at that point. So just kind of reply to Rawtag, but be very, 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 very careful. Okay? Obviously, everything that you do in this game is going to carry a certain degree of risk. Keep that in mind. But generally, look for opportunities to Rawtag, look for opportunities to Super Dash, and use Super Dash effectively. Normally, that's going to be in Zone 2. Now, we're going to, before we move on to the, actually, we're going to talk about the offensive nature of Super Dash as well. Super Dash does have some offensive stuff. As we talked about earlier, Super Dash, especially plus assist, is very, very, very strong, especially with assists that have low pushback. Because I could just do... That's a mix-up. And if my opponent doesn't... They can get hit. I can delay the overhead so they get hit. You know? Depending on the assist, the amount of block stun that you have as well, you know, obviously the assist is going to affect a lot of how the offensive capabilities happen, but the worst part is that, you know, if they try to 2H, they may not be able to. See? That counter hits 2H. See? Or maybe, let's do this. See? Pain. Especially in the corner. Ooh. If you call it too early, you will get 2H though. Point being, you guys get the idea. You want to be super, 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 super careful when it comes to actually dealing with Superdash, and when it comes to actually dealing with these particular situations, because they are very, very dangerous. Superdash was assist. Even worse is that sometimes your opponent will just, who here is a 21 player or has faced a 21 player that does this. Press 1 in the chat if this is you, or if you know somebody that this is. A lot of you guys do this. No, 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 you shouldn't. Yeah, we all know this person. We all know this person. This is not good. This is not effective. And we'll explain why when we defend against Superdash. But even solo Superdash is pretty harmless because, you know, here they'll just do this. And then, like, let's say Vegeta wants to do something like, hey, I want to chase you down. No. No. Can't do anything. Okay, I'm going to 2H you. No. No. You know? You know, Vegeta has this, which is really, really, really effective. It's basically a free escape. Man, they have so many options off of Superdash. What the fuck do you do if you block this thing? Well, those are good offensive options, and they each have their use. If you guys are doing offensively, if you have the respect, you can cross up. If you have an assist with minimal pushback, you can still cross up. You can do something like, you know, you can call your assist DR. You can even do something really messed up like this. That's messed up. You have a lot of options here, even mid-screen. You know, if you're Gogeta, you have a double air dash as well. So you could do stuff like that. You know. It's really hard to do, though. Stuff like that. Oh my god. It's really hard to do. You know, you could do it without an assist as well. You could do stuff like that. Like, you have a lot of tricky options here. Of course, Superdash also has a mix-up potential and pressure because cross-ups. If your opponent blocks your cross-ups, hey, this will call out their cross-up attempts. You know, if you have a friend that is a little too happy to block your cross-ups, you can do stuff like that. And then you can get really dirty because you don't even know what side to block on anymore. You know, same side Superdash. Very, very effective little number. So, with all those options, what the fuck are you supposed to do against all of them? I mean, this is a very strong offensive tool, right? Thank you so much for the follow, Combo. Really, really, really appreciate it. My favorite move to use on T, and it will work. This is my favorite move to use against the trainees, actually, because they block cross-ups. This is the equivalent of what we call a mix-up that works on good players. Now, how do we defend? Well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, you can 2H. That's a bit of a commitment, because your 2H can get stuffed if your reactions are not on time and they're not on point. You know, you're going to lose out the interaction. If you misinput something, you're going to get hit. And, you know, if your opponent, like, mistimes something, like they call an assist like that, and you 2H because you're a bit too eager, or you're trying to read your opponent, you're just going to get smoked. Not only that, but 2Hing, even in this situation, is very tricky. Like, if I don't know what's going to happen, You know, like, this is very tricky. This is a very tricky Super Dash. It's going to be very, very hard to 2H on reaction. Sometimes, even if you do, like, a cross-up Super Dash, like, your opponent doesn't even finish changing sides by the time you 2H, so it just whips. Like, there are so many things that can go wrong with 2H. Although it is a great way to call out if you're here and you do a 90-degree Super Dash like this, or a 90-degree Rawtag. Very, very good way to 2H. You know, if they do a full-screen Super Dash that's too obvious and they want to try to Super Dash assist you like this, meh, that's fine. So, you want to defend against Super Dash. The most important thing to defend against Super Dash that you need to pay attention to is, does your opponent have assists available? And are those fast assists? The most common response you see to Super Dash is that. Reflect. Now, does Reflect leave them punishable? No. The most common response. Now, chat. Why do you think I think Reflect is a good option against Super Dash? I want to quiz you guys. What advantage do you think Reflect yields when it comes to Super Dash? Okay, I like where your mind is at, but unfortunately, no. It'll also stop assist calls. Yes, Statish. It doesn't stop assist calls. It's still their turn. You have to be careful. But I'll stay still for the sake of the assist. Oops, my bad. You reflect the assist. Now they're -3. They're actually +1. But you negate the block stun. You get that assist out, and now they've spent a resource, which means now you can start your offense. You can start running up, dash up plus Kefla, you know, you can start doing some fun stuff there. Reflect is frame 1, so you don't get counter hit, that is true. But Reflect 1 has the advantage of dealing with assists. So this is almost categorically the best option if you see that your opponent has really, really, really strong assists or really fast assists. Now, here's the thing though. Sometimes they don't call their assists, and sometimes you're not expecting it. What do you do when you block? Well, let's look at the situation. What are your opponent's options after this? Well, they can cross up. They can basically prevent you from chasing. They can continue their offensive like this. If you're Gogeta specifically, you could do that, which is really, really gross. You know, they could start your offensive like that. Like, this is a very tricky situation. And of course, they can just that if they're really, really greedy, or if they want to bait the 2H, you know. Now, those are all strong options. Like, for example, you know, if I do this, if I try to move forward, I'm going to get clobbered, you know? Like, if I try to, and especially if they do something like this. Because the most common reaction I see, oh no, I got hit. Because he baited the 2H. And this is a fantastic fucking 2H. Look at this monster. You know? Shit. Well, what the hell do I do? Sometimes you guys will start mashing auto combo as well. You know? Very, very good. What do you even do against this? If you're 21 and you have a really good JM, you could do something like this. Something like that. What do you do against that? Because, you know... I mean, if you're Gogeta, you have options. But let's say you're 18. And they don't have to press a button there, you know? What if I'm Kefla? Okay, her jab is dumb. I really hate this recording. Sometimes. Okay, they can land in my thing. Hey J Rush, how's it going? They can land in my 5LL. Fine. Cool. Do that. However, you know, again, they could just do that. They could just block. They could do a whole lot of things, and they technically didn't spend their... So if they do... You know, they technically didn't do anything, so if they do... They can just call an assist, like, if they have one. Like, man, this is just a risky situation. How do I defend against this? Well, if they have an assist... Oops. You know what? Let me do it with Kefla. Yeah, that's a great one. A lot of you guys do this when you have 21 assists. Or you guys will call an assist behind you, like that. I'm actually only -4. So I negate the block stun, I negate the mix and whatever. So if they try to do something like... I can just do... See? No mix. There's no mix there. You can bank on the double reflect, you can play the reflect mine game, but there you go. Anything specific? Yeah, we're learning how to deal with Rawtag and Superdash. It's in the title. Point is, if you have that, you're kind of learning how to deal with that situation because you're negating their assists. Now, if they don't have an assist, this is where things become a little more interesting, and we're going to talk about an option that Wawa employs quite a bit. Hey, how's it going? So we're going to talk about an option that Wawa employs quite a bit that's pretty fantastic. I really like this one. Alright. Now, actually, before we begin, any ideas on what the solution might be, guys? The solution that is good enough that even Wawa uses it. Can you guys already see the solution? Rawtag. That is a very star answer. No, you don't want to Rawtag in that situation because it's a good way to 2H. They will recover in time. I know that he does DP. He can. Kinda. Crash gets a cookie. Yes. Dash block. Let me show you why. Hey. Hey. Not the day for that, unfortunately, but why don't you try asking me on Wednesday so that way I can even evaluate the team and see what's good about it. That's a good habit to have, Akino. Yeah, no worries. Point is, if they do something like, what if they do something like, you know, Superdash at different angles, like right here, there we go. I can do that. That is very, very, very strong. And that's what Wawa does. Call out and a half. If you're uncomfortable calling it out, you can even just dash block. And then walk back. Because if you dash block, 664, you're naturally going to block it. So, what if your opponent does, you know, that? Uh-oh. 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 This is not a good situation. Well, shit. Okay, what if they do the cross-up? What if they do... No, better yet. Hang on. Damn. Vegeta, please. Something like that. Let's go back to normal. It negates the cross-up. By the way, this is also how you beat cross-ups. If you don't feel like blocking cross-up and you don't feel like 2Hing. And you're really confident in reactions. You know what? Let's do a really good cross-up character, actually. Just to be super, super safe. There we go. Cell. One of the best cross-ups in the game. Even he whiffs. Not only that, but it's your turn. If you have a move that reaches that far, which, you know, like Rebellion Spear might, you know, you could just jail in. Now, that's not going to hit him, but he has to block here. He just whiffed. All because he wanted to get greedy and do a mix-up. Which is cool. That's pretty neat. Okay, but what about the dreaded? And you know what? Even for this example, you're kind of irrelevant, Vegeta. We're going to bring out the queen of JMs, the queen of neutral herself. Android 21. Because her JM reaches really far, right? So who knows? Oops. You know what? I'll leave 18. Pain. There we go. You could just run away. Even her JM whiffs. Very, very good. So if you block a super dash, but what if she does... Well, not that maybe, but what if she does this? Uh-oh. What if she does this? Which is what a lot of you guys like to do. Yep, she could autocorrect. But now you're a free 2H. She could also avoid the interaction entirely if she's not comfortable. She could just double dash. She could also just... No, not that. Sorry. There you go. Because it's a habit, but people do that, unfortunately. So, damn, okay. Alright, what if they do... What if you're standing, alright? Because a lot of people are going to block standing, right? Because you're in the air. So, what if they block like this? No. 21, work with me. Like, what if they try to go for the fake mix anyway? And they do that. You could do... Damn, hang on. There we go. Dash block. Dash 2H. you go. So suddenly, you're in a really, really nice position. Now, of course, you might be wondering, okay, but what if you 2H and they block? Well, like, what if they do? You might be wondering, what if they do? Right? Let's do Gogeta. He's a great example. Oh no, I'm minus, but I can call an assist. Or I can end in a safe special, which is a true string. So let's see. I can even end in an overhead if I want to. If I'm Gogeta. If I want, I could do this. And then take my turn. They lost neutral. Which, by the way, if you don't have an assist, this is usually the correct answer. Because this is the safest answer you have. Look at that. Let's make sure she's blocking for a while. It's still my turn, by the way, because if they do nothing and I dash block, I don't need to 2H. So I can do that. This is a very, very good option. Very, very, very strong. Dash blocking is a great way to get out of the situation. If you get comfortable, there's even an option select where you can dash block delay 2H. That's very hard to time. You know how I feel about option selects like this, because the game is so volatile and timings change so easily and so quickly that it can be really, really hard to make left from right or anything like that. So definitely speaking, dash block, and then from there you can option select 2H. Very, very strong way to defend against solo super dash. Now there is a way you can blow this up, of course, which is do that. See? That's why you must pay attention to your opponent's assists. And if they have assists, more often than not, it's better to do this. Pain. It's better to do that. Or if you really, really want to be a cheeky dick, and you know it's a projectile assist. I wonder if this will work. I actually never lapped this before. Okay, good. Let's see if I do this. No, okay. I was about to be like, what if they do something like late call? Neat. Neat. That's mean. I don't care about your fucking reflect. I don't care about your assists. God, this character's silly. I love him. But yeah, no. That's a bit galaxy brained. Just reflect the assist. You know, reflect your assist, jump away. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I EX, let's see. If I get hit by EX, you do some shit like... What was that combo? Let's see if I remember it. Pain. Something like that. I'm already at 4.4k. That's an insane reward. Yeah, you legit get two-touched. And I'm just mashing. Something like that. 5.5k. You can probably get that to 4.7 before super. That is ridiculous. You know? And not only that, but if you're not careful and you call your assist at the wrong time, this is something that you definitely need to be mindful of. If you're not blocking, your assist can get hit. And that can lead to a very bad situation for you. Let's see. Let's see if I... Okay, that's too slow. Let's see. Oh, that's bad. Yep. And from there, you melt. So be very, very careful against very mashy people, guys. Especially if you're going to do this method. Because if you're not blocking, you're going to have a bad time. Especially if I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of your shit. So what if I do this? Ah, damn. I called the assist a bit too well. Whatever. I just wanted to have fun with a happy birthday there. But, yep. Easiest happy birthdays in the game. This character will make you melt if he catches your assist. So be very, very careful about that. Not only that, but, you know, be careful with characters that can catch your backdash as well. Remember things not to do. So, if you do this, if you block this, for example, please don't do this. Because that's a good... Well, maybe not with this character. But, like, don't do this. Because I know a lot of people do this. Because then they mash, they clash, and it's like... That's not good. Because then... What if she just does this? Let's see. It's like they land... And it's like... Mashing's not... Wow, Gogeta does not fucking care. That's funny. He does not care. That's really funny. But yeah, when it comes to backdashing, that's the safest thing to do. Honestly, if you are the one solo super dashing, just backdash and then see what they do. You are technically plus. So it's better to just jump away, for example. That's a great way to beat. That's a great way to beat. Well, not the option select. Because, you know, you could do that, and boom. You can block in time, you can try to get out of the way, you can do something like that. You can whiff the 2H. You can block in time, which is nice. Like, generally speaking, that's the safest thing to do if you are the one in this 21 in this thing. Don't ever do this, please. This is not good. Sorry, not this. This is not good. This is a really good way to die. It's a very, very good way to die. So, dash block, 2H if you can. Really, really, really strong, powerful option. If you are the one super dashing, just retreat. If you don't have an assist, just get out of there. Just get out of there and be prepared to surrender your turn. Because it is not your turn anymore. Especially against Gogeta. Fine then. This. That. Don't do this. This is very, very bad. This is the freest 2H in the world. Because you're banking on your opponent 2Hing too quickly, which is why a lot of people do it. So the reason why people do this, right, is because it does bait the 2H. Oh my god. You see? Like, it does bait the 2H. And then they can get the hit like that. That's why a lot of people do it. The problem is... Oops. Did it too early. Gogeta. That happens. Backdashing and doing what? We just spent the whole hour talking about this. This? There we go. That happens. No, you're fine. That happens. Especially if they're really good about it. There. That one should safe jump. There you go. You could safe jump it if they're not careful. But if they're ready for it, you're getting hit. Oh yeah, this can be a lot to take in. So if this seems like a lot, go ahead and review the VODs on your own time. Don't worry about it. There are VODs, make sure to follow so that way you can get everything that you need. Don't worry about it. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, exactly. You can just, or, you know, this, if they want to be gapless. And then you can do stuff like that as well. Like, you can get a mix-up here. Like, this is a nasty situation. Like, this is not, this is not a losing position. The only advantage is that they can technically guard cancel here, but you have to be super, super careful because, like I said, characters can change the situation very easily. Like, if you block from 18 and whatnot, she could just do this. And then you get a mix-up right there, which is kind of really hard to see and kind of nasty. But if you're really not careful, and I'm kind of feeling myself, this is one of the few times where this becomes a serious threat. Yeah, definitely lab against Superdash in the situations with Superdash. Look through your matches, look at what are common situations. If you're on the ground, that's great. However, you have to be super, super careful. I would never super dash a cell, to be honest. That seems like suicide. Seems like a great way to die. But let's say, like, she does... Oops. Let's say she does... Let's say it safe jumps. Okay? Okay, cool. Safe jumps. Hey! I get a 50-50 here with the right assist. You know, for free, because you're not guard canceling this. Oh, I could do that, theoretically? That would be really funny. I don't even know how that whiffed. You know, with the right character, you have a lot of options. You know? Sometimes your 2H whiffs, so definitely check, but most of the time you're gonna... This is not... And not only that, but here's a cool little option select. Let's see. And then boom, you hit. If you're super ready for it, and if you're not ready for it, they safe jump. So this is your worst case scenario. You know, this is your worst case scenario. And I don't normally like this mix up. You could do that. Like, that's really fucked up. You know? Oh, take it easy, Prism. You know, you can go low. Hey. And then you just kind of fucking explode. So, yeah, blocking 2H and special canceling, really, really, really good, especially if you're ready. So definitely lab that situation to make sure you're ready for it. You know, if you're like, well, maybe we can just return to neutral, you know. Because, you know, if you want, you can also do the safer option, which is jump away, you know. You can do the safer option, which is jump away. Sometimes, if you know they're going to backdash, you know, you can... If you know they're going to backdash, you could do... Let's see. There we go. Point is, you have a lot of options here. The world is your oyster. You can 2H special into mix and then keep your turn. If you're certain characters and you want to take the risk, you could literally just 2H into this, and now you're plus, so now it's your turn. Like, and then boom. You can do whatever you want to this character now. these are effectively ways that you can deal with Super Dash. This is how you deal with Super Dash, especially from point blank if you block it. But remember, 9 times out of 10, if you can't 2H it, it's always better to... If you can't 2H it, it's always better to... reflect. Because now you're technically plus here. You're +1. So you could dash forward, you could start your offensive, you could start your neutral. You reflect, you can actually counter Super Dash if you want, or if you have like an assist like Blue Goku, you could do that. Although be careful because this is 2Hable. You know, you could reflect call and assist, which is really strong. So if I want to, I could do... You could do something like that. Try to take your turn back, jill him down to the ground. Like, there are a lot of tactics and strategies here. Go ahead and play around with it. But this is essentially how it's going to be used. So, to recap, Super Dash is an incredibly strong mechanic. You want to use this in Zone 2. You want to use this offensively. You want to use this, you know, avoid your angles. Be very, very careful. You can even use this as a fake cross-up, you know, if you want to fake out the cross-up. You can use it in Zone 1 because it's Zone 1 and Zone 2 because it's very, very hard to deal with. You can use it to deal with your opponent's bad approaches. So, for example, if 21 is like right here, like, you know, she's just floating around, hi, I'm gonna do some stuff to you. You could just call her out, you know. You know, if she's like, hey, I'm gonna be here. What's up, everybody? Hi, you know. And you're like, okay. I'm just going to call you out like that. You know, that's a great Super Dash right there. Super Dash is also a great way to call out whiffed air specials. So if they do something like this over you, if they're doing like this, or if you fight a Vegito and then the Vegito's like doing their legs and their kicks over your head, Super Dash can be a potentially great call out. That's normally when you see it. And that's when you start using it effectively. You can use it in most situations. Now, there are a couple of niche situations that we can talk about and we'll go over before we start wrapping this up. Okay, pretty sure I know the answer, but is dodge also effective in that situation against Vidal? Unfortunately, no. That is one of the biggest reasons why Vidal not having a reflect is a problem. However, Vidal has other options. You know, she could employ the dash block method, especially because she has a particularly fucked up way of doing it. So she could employ the dash block method. She could also... DP on reaction if she wants, but probably the best thing that she can do is counter super. Her counter super is going to make your opponent really upset, and that's a great call out for Super Dash. She does have a decent 2H, kind of ish. It's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit wonky, but yeah, with Adele, your mileage may vary. I can make that -4. That's actually kind of gross. Okay. Sparler Reflect is great against Super Dash. Rawtag is a great mix-up, and I have multiple options after Super Dashing in Zone 1. Yep. You also have multiple options defending against those Super Dashes in Zone 1. Now let's talk about Rawtag. Rawtag is going to be the last thing that we cover tonight before we move on to some VOD examples. Now, we're going to talk about some strategies when it comes to Rawtag. Now, the reason why Rawtag is so strong is because Rawtag is going to fuck up a lot. Super Dash, back in the day, used to be a great defensive mix-up. Or not a defensive mix-up. It used to be great against pressure like this. You know, like this. I don't think I recorded. You know, stuff like... You know, stuff like this. Because then I could just do that. You know, boom, take my turn. Another thing that I can do here is something like that. You know, and if I'm reading it. Let's see. Oops, sorry. I was recording. Punish into the corner. You know, you steal the corner and I'm going to punish you. That's also how you punish Broly's grab, by the way. If you do manage to jump Broly's grab, jump super dash is really, really effective. If you know your opponent's going to go for a 2M, you could do that. And that kind of deals with the low option a little bit. So, like, super dash does have some defensive mechanics. Like, you could do that. Oops. You can punish like that as well. Let's see. Can I tech with... No, I'm getting thrown. It's very dangerous to tech with. Yeah, okay. You can do that, which is very, very strong. But to be honest... Boom, there you go. Take your turn back. There you go. Like, honestly, like, fuzzy jumping into super dash is decently effective. It can be called out if you're not careful. Make sure that it causes a whiff. And be careful doing it in situations like this. Because she could just 5H. Although you could actually counter hit like that. So, who knows? Great way to deal with the reflect situation if they block as well. Like if they... Oh, my bad. Like if they do something like that, you can kind of punish like that. That's cool. Be careful if they have 3 bars and they're not going to do anything afterwards, because you know there are options. But at that point, you know, point blank super dash used to be kind of defensively in the meta, but now we opt for safer stuff. So what do we do now? Well, let's just say they do this. Something like this. I could do this. Oops. Reflect Rawtag. Reflect Rawtag is an incredibly powerful tool. Now, obviously, that's a free 2H in that particular circumstance. So let's say she does... I'm going to do a mix-up. I'm going to do a mix-up again. Something like this. I'm Rawtagging. Bye. Very, very effective use of Rawtag. And the reason why is because... And the reason why that's super, super, super good is because Reflect Rawtag is very important. You can also Rawtag in their pressure in addition to that, because most of the time when you get somebody on block, you've already done some damage to them. It's going to get your damaged character out of there. It's going to bring in Blue Goku or Kefla. It's going to bring in your team. You're going to be able to rotate your assists, and you're going to get out of that situation. When in doubt, Rawtag, because Rawtag is very effective. Now, of course, there are ways you could bait it out, which we'll talk about, but even Kefla, who's notoriously hard to block, you know, you can actually see the X I'm trying to Rawtag. Boom. Reflect Rawtag deals with that very easily. Puts them in the corner. And now they have to deal with my fun pressure. And it's my advantage. I have a fresh character in. Reflect Rawtag, very, very, very good method of Rawtagging, if you're going to do that. That is a great defensive mechanic that turns into an offensive mechanic as well. Another great opportunity to Rawtag is usually after a smash like this. Now, you do take less damage for this. You do take less damage for this, unfortunately, but it is the safest way to get out of your to get out as well. If you want to Rawtag and you have 2 assists up, something else you could do would be like this. That's a great way to tag out. Very expensive, so I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's a great way to get your character out. So, pretty cool. You know, that's another free Rawtag as well. Another great Rawtag as well is when Blue Vegeta presses his key blasts. That's a free Rawtag right there. But, you know, you're blocking your pressure, so something like that. Notice how I'm fuzzy jumping and holding my Rawtag button. Do I have... No, I have quick tag on, right? I do have quick tag on. Yeah, I do have quick tag. So, you know, if I'm just messing around. Another great Rawtag, for example, if you have characters like Hefla or Vidal. Which also works on hit, by the way. But if you want to get them out safely as well, I don't see enough Keflas abuse this because her pressure is broken. But, you know, you do kind of give up your turn, but you do get the character out of there. So, there you go. That's how you Rawtag. Now, how do you deal with Rawtag? Well, the best one is pay attention to when your opponent's blocking. I want you guys to pay attention to my character portraits next to my health. Okay? Look at my character's portraits right now. Look at my character's portraits. You saw that X? There we go. I'm out. Watch for the X. Because if you see that X... If you see that X... You can 2H. Maybe I should demonstrate this on the dummy itself, actually. But I'm not sure. Can I get this thing to Rawtag? No. That's the wrong one. I have not held a pad. Yeah. No. Point is, yeah, watch for the X. You can walk back 2H. That's how you bait it. Oh, no. I don't have planned pressure routes. I just condition respect, and I, every now and again, while they're in active block stun, like right now, I don't need to look at my character. I'm just watching my, my opponent's. You see, my opponent's holding tag. You see? And I just walk back. You know? But the thing is that walk back is also good for different reasons. That's for an advanced pressure class, because I love walk back by them, but we'll talk about that at another day. Point is, just watch for the X. That's a great way to deal with Rawtag. Anytime you see an opponent walking back, do not Rawtag. If you're in neutral, like let's say you guys are fucking around in neutral, you know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, just Rawtag him. He's never gonna see it coming, you know, like, haha, I'm just digging around, you know, I'm just doing this, and then I'm gonna Rawtag. That's not a real pressure pattern, but if you see an opponent do this, they're creating distance, so that way they can react in time, because they feel that you're gonna Rawtag. If you're in the corner and your opponent does this, do not Rawtag, do not Superdash. Whatever you do, if you are holding your button, let go of it. Let go of it, and instead super jump away. You know, like if you're spending your X, like if you're holding your X or whatever, and you're in blocks, and you're like, all right, I'm out. I gotta get out of here. Very, very, very important. So definitely watch out for the Rawtag. If you guys do fake 50-50s, this is another great use of Rawtag as well. So if you guys do this, like we all know about the 50-50. You know what? I'm just recording on 21 actually. Let's say you want to do that. I am already holding the button for Rawtag. See? That's how you deal with that. That's how Star got out of that. You can also use Quick Tag if you have the option available to you. Because you're already holding down. It's just a shift over and then just tap the Rawtag button. Oh, couldn't do that. So one more time. I'm just going to hold and block. If I get it, I get it. You know? If I don't, I don't. So definitely consider holding Rawtag, because a lot of the times, you know, who here has been in a position where they got their level 3, but like you accidentally like whiffed because you went too far. That's a free Rawtag as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that. When in doubt, Rawtag. It's very, very important to keep your team alive, and the health management, your team will thank you. It's also a great way to call out bad pressure, obviously, but yeah. So to recap about Rawtag, some tactics. Reflect Rawtag is very strong defensively. Reflect Tag is very good, especially in your opponent's pressure, if you know they don't have an anti-reflect string, or if you know that they're doing something a little bit weird, or a little bit weird. I whiff my Vegeta level 3 a lot. Yeah, I feel that. So that's a great way to avoid it. Another thing that you have to be very, very careful of, unfortunately, would be... you could theoretically do this. Fenrich does this a lot. Call and assist, and then Rawtag. It's a safe Rawtag. You can't really do anything about it. The only problem is, if your character is Gogeta, he's kind of vulnerable. You know, he's got no assists to use now, so he kind of has to spend the rest kind of avoiding the situation, and he's much easier to approach, so be careful with that. Be careful with that. It's very, very dangerous. But yeah. You know, be careful with that if you want to abuse that. But there you go. These little things, these little interactions should give you a strong foundation for abusing Rawtag, getting to know Superdash, how to deal with these tools. This is a great way to effectively learn everything that we just talked about. Now, obviously, as per every masterclass going forward for the last 4 weeks or so, we are going to watch a VOD. And we're going to see how this plays out at high level. Because what good is any of this if you can't apply it, right? So let's go to window capture for a second. Let's see, we're gonna go here. I'm going to have it nice and big for this one. I'm not going to try to overlap chat here. But there you go. And we're going to pause our nice chill hop music. And I already have a VOD preloaded. We're going to go to theater mode for this one. Oh yeah, of course, Danish. Take it easy, my friend. But let's see how these players get to use this. Of course, the link is going to be repeated in the bot. And as always, guys, while we're waiting, please, if you haven't already, go follow Goichi on YouTube and Twitter. Please, he's obviously the best player at this game. You guys can learn so much from watching his content. He's got a lot of nice content coming out for us as well. You know, some of him testing out new teams and trying out VODs. So please, go follow Goichi. That goes without saying. But, yeah. We're going to watch Goichi versus Fenrich. And we're going to see some fun. God, how does he match? How do I feel about Lotus? He is not high level, but he is very good. And if you enjoy his content, he's fine. I don't really watch it because it's not my brand. But there you go. So we're going to watch for Superdash and Rawtags. So, of course, we have Fenrich winning neutral. I'm sorry, we have Goichi winning neutral here. As usual. My God, he masked so fast. Yep, there we go. Very good reflect. And what did we see? What did we see, chat? There it is. So let's watch this interaction. So he reflects. He could have raw tagged here, but he knew that Goichi was actually baiting something, so instead he calls an assist and then uses the assist and the attempt to jump away from the assist to safely raw tag out. Very, very, very good awareness on Fenrich there. And that's the first raw tag, and we're barely even into the VOD. I will talk about their movement in depth because this, honestly, this whole stream is incredibly educational. But, yeah, very, very good. Very good pressure. Vying for the Clash War. Okay. Nice little shimmy. Overextended his pressure. Baited on the reflect. Get the Clash War, but Goichi was a little bit too fast. And there we go. Part of the homework, guys. Against one of the best players in the world. Empty jump whiff overhead into low. Very effective. We got a level 3, first level 3 of the evening. Reflects the perfect attack by baiting it. That is so smart on Goichi's end. You're so good. Unfortunately, that's going to be a dead cell. Not a very great situation for Fenrich. So now we have a half-dead Vegeta and an SSJ Vegeta in the back. Okay. Are we going to see another Super Dash? That's a very smart decision. Yup. Very good neutral. Very good neutral. Get the re-jump. Put him in the corner. Oh, messes up the Oki, unfortunately. Right there. What did we see here? Bardock is bleeding. Goichi needs to get him out of there. Jumps up into the air. And right here, what he was doing was he was baiting the anti-air. So he jumps forward. And as you can see, Vegeta's right here. Vegeta is primed to 2H. If he decided to overpress his luck and then air dash JH or do anything like that, it is his turn. And as we established before, even if he ends up baiting the 2H and blocks it and whatnot, it's still not a great situation to be in for Goichi. So, very, very intelligently, he jumps forward to try to bait the 2H. And of course, he's going to try to meet to air. Rawtag. He waits for his opponent, and that's a very, very good way to Rawtag right there. And of course, Goichi, after having the Rawtag blocked, instead defensively moves away, doesn't try to overpress, doesn't try to do dumb shit here. He's just moving away from his opponent and creating as much distance as possible so Trunks can come back. This is the effective way to use your Rawtag and get mileage out of it. See, that would have been a good Super Dash. Yeah. Level 1 into level 3. Of course. DR. Okay. That's going to hit. There you go. Very good movement. Right here. The first Super Dash of the evening. Right here. He's got no assists. He jumps. And he Super Dashes immediately because he knows that Fenrich really isn't going to react to 2H here. And Fenrich is probably going to jump. So he goes, tries to get it, but instead does nothing. And notice how Goichi immediately tries to jump away and loses his turn. This is why it is very dangerous. Jumps away. 2H, very smart. Put him in the corner. Do a 2H route into an extension. Into level 1, level 3, or level 3 in general if he wants to keep Bardock in. Nope, very smart. Level 1, level 3. That's another great way to keep your characters alive, guys, is level 1, level 3. Even if it doesn't kill, it's worth it because you're putting your opponent in some kind of tight Oki, and you're getting a bleeding character out. Alright, change the nooch. Yep, he's getting hit here. Not a really fun situation for Fenrich. Good backdash. Very nice, very nice. to level 3. Very nice. We're not here to watch level 3s. We're here to watch super dashes. Now, the top level doesn't super dash as much. But as you can see, there was still some uses even in this match here. Oh, this is scrambly right here. There it is. Another super dash. Because he thought his opponent was doing stuff. He was in zone 2. This super dash could have been risky, but Fenrich is not ready. And he just immediately takes his turn. I didn't talk about super dash and Spark, and that's because Spark will get its own category. Spark is a really, really weird mechanic. So we will definitely talk about Spark in an upcoming masterclass. But yeah, if your opponent's in Spark, please reflect the super dash. Reflect or 2H. Those are your only options. Whew! That was clean. Press 1 if you got hit. Dash is under, and then immediately cross-ups. That is nasty. Goichi is so freaking good at this game. He makes me wish I could play this game at this level. Oh, he's going to get the cross-up. I think that was a floaty. I'm not sure. But really, really, really powerful stuff. Very, very effective. So here, right there, this is how you call out this fake mix, guys, especially if they don't have an assist. He went for a whiff overhead into low. Fuzzy mashing is a good way to do this. So you might be asking, what is fuzzy mashing? Fuzzy mashing is an option select where you press a button slightly late while your opponent does something. So like, let's say your opponent's going to IAD overhead. Instead of immediately mashing, you're going to wait a little bit and mash. If they make you block, the mash doesn't come out. However, if you're not in blocks, then the mash comes out. Very, very effective in this particular situation. 5 LDR. There you go. Right here. You can see it again, guys. The Fenrich special. Calls an assist, Rawtags, and Rawtags into cell pressure. So now he gets his turn, because Goichi's patient. Very nice. Goichi thought it was his turn. It is not your turn. Oh, he overextended it. And once he overextends and drops, Fenrich very wisely just moves back. Goes for the fake cross-up, but Fenrich is not falling for that. Good backdash on the pressure. Evil. We've talked about that interaction before with... Doc, when Doc was actually a guest in the chat. I would love to work more with Doc. Here's another great situation, actually, that I didn't talk about when it comes to when to whiff punish with Super Dash. If you guys are having trouble with Star doing EX beam, you see the beam start up, you jump. The moment he whiffs, Super Dash. He's in recovery. He can't do anything. And can't do anything. I was also incorrect. If you do end up actually hitting the end of a move, it still counts as a counter. So, yeah, be careful. There you go, 50-50. That is a dead GT Goku. In this particular case, you notice that Fenrich spent Spark, and that's because it's okay for him to burn this resource. He has a lot of life, and it's going to kill a character. Absolutely worth it to spend the Spark here to murder this GT Goku, which is also Goichi's most valuable assist on this team at this particular match. Very nice. Very smooth. Beams plus assist. Very good. Tries to anti-air. Goichi really abusing the respect here from Fenrich. Even Fenrich is actually impressed. Ooh. 2M into level 3. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Very nice. Very, very disgusting mix-up with EX Flip! No! EX Flip really pulling it out, and Trunks doesn't even have... Trunks is still It's not even in Spark yet, and he's already mixing the shit. Very, very smart move. Now Goichi... Now Fenrich should be looking to level 1, level 3 here. That would be the best way to get this character out. Yep. No! No, that is a mistake. Because he spent the bar. He spent the half bar. Yeah, that was not wise. He probably didn't think he was going to get the knockdown, but he could have at least knocked down into Blue Vegeta, SSJ Vegeta, so that way he could get the Super Jump ID 50-50. But instead, he's going to bank it on this mix. And this mix is expensive, too. Like, this is... He doesn't even go for the Spark Bait. Unfortunately, that's going to be a dead cell. That right there is actually a blunder from Fenrich. He should have gone into level 1, level 3. Or if he was going to spend the EX move and he realized that he didn't have enough, he should have gone into another level 3. That was not a good decision. He spent 4 bars for basically nothing. Round start, dash block plus assist. Works every time. Good air to air. You could literally hear Goichi mashing. You could literally hear Goichi mashing there. I respect it, Goichi. I respect it. I was mashing too. I was mashing in my heart. I was mashing with you, bro. I respect it. I ain't trying to hold pressure, man. I'm Trunks. Very good air to air. Very good patience. Very good reflect into counterattack. That was actually very smart on Goichi. Goichi's going to get some big damage here. Yep. Build some bar. Goes for the soft knockdown setup, I believe. And then goes for the 50-50 with Trunks Beam. Crazy. Remember, guys, and here's another example of how to use Super Dash offensively, and you guys can't abuse this. Super Dash 50-50. Very strong. With that assist, that shit's unseeable. So if you guys are Trunks players with Trunks speed, you should use that more. And also, that range is too close, but here we go. Remember, the safest time to Rawtag is in the air. Fenrich Rawtags. Gets a bleeding character out of there. Great time to Rawtag. GTA, rest in peace. Rest in peace, GT. GT, no. Cut the clay. Let's go. Yo, that was actually kind of cursed. Wow, that is actually cursed. Goichi. So he jumps straight up. So right here, he would land basically cross up, but the assist pushes them back so he can stay same side. Press 1 if you got hit. That shit is cursed, dog. That shit is actually cursed. Five LDR. It's too strong. It's too strong. Yeah, I can't. Because on top of that, he went low. So that was a risky situation. And Fenrich blocked like a god. Oh. Weird situation. He uses Pogo to get out of the way. ID's back. Fenrich tries to take his turn. Problem is, Cell has giant legs, and Goichi wasn't paying attention. So now Fenrich is going to use this opportunity to get some offense started, try to catch up and put some hurt on this GT. Good decision. Level 3. Yeah, fair. That's fine. It's fine. Hey, Scarlett, how's it going? Wonderful. You basically... Yep. Very, very wise. Very wise decision. Not quite tied up, but the game is a lot closer and very manageable right now. And look right here. What do we see? He fakes out the EX flip into Rawtag. That is insane. So there you go. Rawtag when your opponent's in the air. Fake him out. Make sure you do what you can to make the Rawtag safe. Don't get obvious with it. Be careful. But definitely start Rawtagging more. Look how safe it is. If it's good enough for the best players in the world, it's good enough for you. Oh, pain. Do you think Scarlet is Scarlet Photon? Because Scarlet Photon's the only A Gohan. Scarlet, I don't think you play A Gohan, do you? Do you play A Gohan? Yeah, I didn't think so. I think Akeno might be thinking of Scarlet Photon. So right here, very, very, very cursed. Fakes the cross up, which is why Goichi got hit here. And what did we see here, guys? Do you see what I mean? It happens at the worst level. So, unfortunately, this is why I warn you against full screen super dashes like that. Because even when it's full screen and you see your opponent in the air and you're thinking, oh, I can get away with this. No. Do not full screen super dash. And if you suspect that your opponent's going to super dash, you should create distance. Especially when they're in a position like Goichi, where they're desperate to get a hit in so they can tie the game. It is always better to be patient and wait out your opponent's spark. Cursed! So right here, round start super dash, very, very, very risky. But he suspected that Goichi was going to jump, and he was correct. So he does what you guys do. He jumps up immediately. Trunks is going to try to go for the dash block, but here's the problem. Rolling crush is disgusting. Which is why I shouldn't be seeing 21 players do that, but if you're a Cell player and you have half a bar, maybe not the worst idea in the world. You can still get 2H, so be careful. But, yeah. Ooh. I would have pressed 5M there. Wow. Wow, Fenrich is blocking Sparking Trunks. That's crazy. Ooh, that was almost a punish. Ah, but he gets too greedy and ends up getting 2H. No! No, he's going to change the future. No! Can I have a small piece? My blood sugar's running low. I'm like passing out. Once again, very, 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 very smart tech. I meant with a plate, but yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Brownies, guys.
They're correct brownies.
Remember, you have to beat my angel trainees in tournament if you want brownies.
I mean, brownies are easy. It's everything else that's harder.
That might have been a missed assist call, to be honest. That looked like it was an accidental Rawtag, but, you know, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That's another situation, actually, that I should probably warn you guys about. If your opponent has SSJ Vegeta on the team, be very careful super dashing. Because he can call the assist, and anything you do right there, this is a very strong anti-super dash move. So be very, very careful with what you do there. Trunks, so is Cell to a lesser extent, but Vegeta is very effective. What did I tell you guys, by the way? Reflect is death. Fenrich, and by the way, that was not a reflect bait. That reflect was not baited. That was entirely by accident. Goichi was going to do that mix regardless. Yeah, he was going to do that mix. I mean, it was kind of baited because he slowed his rhythm down, which is actually, pay attention to this nice rhythm because this was very nice. Right? 2L, 5L, pause because he was probably going to fake out the DR, goes for IAD. His rhythm makes that situation ambiguous. This reflect was bad on so many levels because it doesn't even beat the IAD, but more importantly, if he decided a 2L, 5L DR, that reflect would have got caught anyway. This only works if he was going to go for a reset, which is a hard read. One that unfortunately Fenrich will pay for with Base Vegeta's life. Rip Base Vegeta. I never liked you anyway. I think this was back in the day when you were cursed and you had that stupid freaking level 1 bug. Okay, good dash block. Ooh. Oh, pain. So this right here, that's just Bardock things. That's just Bardock things. That is literally just Fenrich. That is literally just Goichi mashing it out. Good tech. I expect the Rawtag soon. Alright, never mind. He pushed him into the corner, but he's not fully in the corner, so Goichi didn't know he had to block cross up. That's mean. Oh, Fenrich. But remember, guys, you need a 50-50 to open up Goichi. Remember that. Remember that. He literally counts the frames. He counts the frames in real time. Good guard cancel. Unfortunately, Goichi is still in control. Gets a bleeding Bardock out of there. Into this level 3. Thankfully, this level 3 is not going to do too much damage. It's going to be 1680 for now. Mean. Mean. Remember, you need a 50-50 to open these guys up, by the way. Let's talk about the Super Dash for a second. Because that was a great Super Dash. Yep. So right here, Super Dash, it punished. He was trying to go for some weird mix-up where it was like, oh, I'm going to fake cross-sweep you out. But Fenrich decided to jump anyway, and then he just decided to press Super Dash. And in this particular situation, it's impossible to know what side you're going to need to block on. It's very hard to tell. That is a great Super Dash in that particular regard. Pain. 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 Can I get a baguette in the chat, please? Chat, can I see some baguettes, please? That was... Oh, my God. That's aggravating. Mean. Very good neutral pin. There you go. This was season 2. That would have probably been a Genki Dama. No kill. That's also how you deal with empty vanish, guys. Remember, JL. Stop trying to 2H it. Don't try to do anything. Just jump JL. That's how you beat empty vanish. Very nice. Risky encounter. So right here, this Super Dash was a little bit of a mistake. What he's trying to do is he's trying to jump and then Super Dash to punish any attempt, because normally Base Vegeta would be about plus 20 here, so Base Vegeta would try to like reset his turn and take his turn or whatever, and Bardock was supposed to jump Super Dash defensively. However, instead of backdashing away or calling an assist and just blocking, he decided to press anyway. And unfortunately, that's going to get him hit. There we go. 5 LDR, or 4L, 4 LDR, or 4L LDR. Rawtag's out. Got to be careful with that. Loses the air-to-air interaction, unfortunately, because Fenrich's neutral is really, really fucking good. Fenrich knows what he's doing. Fenrich is neutral. If you guys wanted to learn neutral, all you would have to do is watch Fenrich. Fenrich is so amazing. I mean, so is Goichi, but Fenrich's neutral is perfect. It's just pristine. Very good. 2L, 5L, 5LL. Good reflect out. Good reflect out. That was a reflect dash block. Oh no, it was a reflect IAD. Tried to take his turn. He had all the advantage there too. Dash block plus fucking SSJ Vegeta assist. Really, really good. He tried to super dash because that's all he could do to prevent himself from getting hit. However, nope, checkmate. That's a dead GT. And that is a dead GT, unfortunately. That's going to clean this up. This match looking squarely in Fenrich's favor. Mean! Mean! Press 1 if you got hit. Mean! Mean, bro. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, it's going to be into level 3! Into a 50-50! Oh. Goichi is playing Fenrich. Watch this, guys. Look right here. He's holding tag. Mean. So we get some whiffed 6M shit. Whiff 6M sucks. This is not a great situation. He calls an assist. Whiff 6M again. Goichi thinks it's his turn and then gets us by 5M. Pain. And that's going to... Oh, that would have been a TOD. That would have been a TOD. Question... Oh, yep. 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 To Bardock level 3, protect the healthier Trunks and the beam assist. I get it, I get it, I get it. Goichi leaving his spark for Trunks. I'm not sure why this worked. This really shouldn't have worked. He went for Super Dash, but this really shouldn't have worked. This really shouldn't have worked. But Fenrich felt like pressing L. I get it, Fenrich. I 100% agree. I would press L too. Very good counter vanish. So right here, let's see. Counter vanish. Yep. Very nice. Fenrich should think about getting base Vegeta out here, and he probably will on the next touch. Yep. No, he's not. Oh, fake cross-up's going to get Fenrich. That's mean. That's okay. Fenrich is going to get out of there. No confirm on the 5L. That is why you get out of Zone 1, guys. Even Goichi is not ready to tech that DR. That is why you get out of Zone 1. Pain. 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 Oh, I don't like this. Where are my baguettes? Please press baguette. Put a baguette in the chat, please. It's depressing me. Of course. Flip 50-50. Alright, guys. We have time for one more match. Let's see if we can get some interesting Rawtag data here. But as you guys can see, you see how sparingly but effectively they use concepts like Superdash and Rawtag. I have no idea how Goichi blocked that. Good assist. Yep. Wow. I have no idea how Fenrich blocked it. I got hit. Did you get hit, chat? Goes for the fake cross-up Superdash, just like we talked about. But it's not gonna end. It's not gonna end well. And look what Fenrich does in response. Watch. Dash block. Dash block, and instead of 2Hing, he does a delayed 2M. Very, 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 very sneaky Fenrich, but Fenrich correctly applying what happens in Superdash. So now you guys get an idea of what to do in a post block Superdash, especially if your opponent blocks the same side Superdash. Now you know what to do if you're in that situation. Definitely rewatch this VOD and definitely rewatch everything that we can. Make sure that you guys practice your dash blocks 50-50. Right here, the famous reflect tag. Reflects tag. IID's back, but look at that. He just blocks. Even though he just put himself in the corner. The smarter thing to do here, in my opinion, actually, I feel like Goichi kind of blundered by putting himself in the corner. The smarter thing to do here would have been to cross up. Because even if you cross up but don't press anything, you're already blocking, you're defending against the side, you're away from the corner. But instead, he kind of put himself in corner pressure, which is not a fun place to be in, but I guess if you're as good at defense as Goichi is, it's not a big deal, but he's going to get hit by basic mix-ups. Look at that 50-50, guys. Look at this 50-50, guys. Look at this 50-50. Crazy. Crazy. That 50-50 empty jump low. And for those of you that don't know, I am being very sarcastic. That is not a 50-50. That is the fakest shit you can do. Goichi could have mashed. Goichi could have done anything. But you know how it is. People genuinely think that Goichi just texts and blocks everything. And that there's no way to open this guy up. But the basic homework, my subs already know. If you guys are interested in what homework I'm talking about, please go ahead and drop a sub. So that way you guys can get access to the Discord where me and Star will teach you guys high-level Dragon Ball on a more personal one-on-one basis. But those of you on my subs know, how often I get on them about the homework. The homework works on Goichi, guys. Goichi got hit by empty jump low. Without an assist, the dangerous one. The one that Star is like, no, that won't hit anybody. There you go. Goichi gets hit by the homework, guys. It will happen. Uh, 980 into big damage level 3. This won't kill. And he doesn't quite have the bar for the 50-50. Pain! And he just goes for the dash low. That's crazy. But Goichi was stand blocking because he was expecting the 50-50 because Goichi was not paying attention to his opponent's bar. Bad vanish. Alright, can Trunks make this comeback? Probably. Trunks is a very strong anchor. Trunks has spark. Nice blocks. You need to be stopped. There you go. Big damage. Next touch will kill. Very good reflect on Goichi's end. And once again, you see the famous Fenrich. He could have reflect tagged here and he would have been fine, but instead he spends an assist, which I guess is fine. You have enough bar. Yep. Fuzzy jump. Oh, pain. even Saul looks surprised there. Saul's like, what? Saul's like, what the hell just hit me? Oh, pain. This comeback is looking possible for Goichi right now. Counter spark. There you go. Ooh, and Fenrich is going to get the touch into a sparking combo for big damage. Build a lot of bar. If I were him, I would go into Vegeta 50-50. He could have gone into base Vegeta's 50-50. I guess they don't believe in Super Jump ID 50-50 and whether or not it's actually real 50-50, but he does not care. He is going to fucking... Yep. He's just going to fucking level 3. I hate Trunks. Make this character load to your gun, please. Yep, that's death. And that, my friends, is going to be the show. Today, we learned how to deal with Rawtag. We learned how to abuse Rawtag. We learned how to deal with Superdash situations. We know how to use Superdash in neutral now, at least a very basic idea. And more importantly, you guys now know how to deal with Superdash, which is really, really important because, unfortunately, the reality is Superdash, as effective as it is, it loses to more than just 2H. You guys learned how to dash block when blocking it solo. You guys now know how to reflect after Super Dash if your opponent has an assist up. So you guys now have an idea of what to do. Go forth, go try it out, go lab, go play some games. I want my matchmaking section in my sub-only Discord to blow up. If you guys are here and you guys are watching, thank you so much for joining us. If you are interested and you want to support the stream, please consider donating or following and subscribing. That's going to be it for me, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow for your ring match evaluations, and I have a very, very, very special prize for whoever can actually... Well, actually, I don't have any prize. I'll think of something, guys. Whatever you guys want. Let me know. But I want to see you guys actually block some super dashes and dash block. That would be pretty cool, huh? Anyway, take it easy. Goodbye, Dimensional. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great one. Bye-bye.